Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. I was going through my comments just a few minutes ago and somebody was asking about the bobbins that I had in my kit, and I figured I would just show you guys how I do it. Pretty simple. So to do this you need some bobbins, and these I just got on Amazon and typed in sewing bobbins, and they're cheap. This was like $5 for this whole pack. These are just metal ones. So I ordered some of those. This is 15-pound braid. So you need a spool of fishing line, whatever you want to put on there. As soon as you get above 30, it starts getting pretty rigid. It's kind of stiff. And some inner tube. And this is the inner tube, the size of the tube. And this is the size 700 by 18 by 25C. I'm not exactly sure how you look those things up, but that is this size inner tube. They're relatively inexpensive, 2 for $10, and you can make 9 million Ranger bands out of them. So when I do this, it's not anything super fancy, but I like to use some sort of cutting tool. Also, I'm going to use my Farmer X because it's got scissors on it. And then I'm going to take and cut me some pieces of Ranger band about the same width as my bobbin. And they don't have to be perfect, just pretty close. And then I'll save the rest. Then I just thought there was a little crack in this thing. I don't guess so. I'm going to poke it through to the outside so I can hold it. And then I just wrap it. Nothing super fancy. Just spool it on there. If your wife has a sewing machine or you have a sewing machine, you could probably just wind them on there with the sewing machine itself. And you could get, there's braids for leather and other types of sewing. I believe it's upholstery thread that's pretty thick. It's not going to be 15-pound test, I don't think, but it's going to be thicker than normal thread. But you could do one of just plain thread for repairs. You could do one that's just 15-pound. What I'll do, as soon as it starts looking like it might be getting kind of cattywampus, like it's not uniform across, I'll swap it over and just hold the other side and fill up the low spot on it. And we'll keep going until I get all the way out to the very edge of the bobbin. And it actually holds a friggin' bunch. Yeah, somebody had said something about my language. Apparently I said a bad word. Did not mean to say a bad word. Super sorry. Been trying to keep it PG on here as best as possible. I know kiddos watch this sometimes, and I do cuss like a sailor a lot. So I'm trying to not do that on here. I don't need some child watching me or learning how to make a wooden fish, and then all of a sudden I go dropping the F-bomb and his parents hear it. I don't need to do that. I don't need that on my conscience. Dang. We're still wrapping, y'all. We're still wrapping. And all of this stuff, now some stuff, like when you're buying equipment and gear and stuff, you get what you pay for. So, like where I talk about that Swiss Army Knife Farmer X a bunch. Like, that is a phenomenal tool. Like, it is. It's like you don't have to like it, but like it is, you can't. It's a great tool. Like, there's no. I mean, it is what it is. It's a good job. I mean, they did a good job with that. Swiss Army Knife's been around for a long time, and it's great. You know, it may not be your personal pick for the knife that you want to use, but it is all around. If you tell somebody, yeah, if you get a Swiss Army knife, like, it's going to be a good knife. Like, it is. Now, stuff, not necessarily gear, but things like this, sometimes you can go with quantity over quality with some of this stuff. And I know that sounds horrible, but like these little cheapo bobbins and that inner tube, it's not that big a deal. Like, for this stuff, I buy this inexpensive braid and put it on my fishing poles and all kind of stuff, and I mean, it works fine. But you don't have to buy a $50 spool of braid to divvy it all up onto sewing machine bobbins and placing it in and out of kits to use occasionally. Or some people will make them and put them up and never even use them. Like, it'll be an emergency thing, you know. But you can get away with getting cheap stuff for this craft. All right, there we go. It took me, well, yeah, some guy wants me to, like, he's always telling me to zoom in. Look, it's so close it won't even focus on it. Here, whoa, there we go. And the last little loop, I'll get it right up towards either one of the side pieces, top or the bottom, and I just pull it tight so it kind of gets caught on itself in there. And then, oops, I'll cut her off like that. I'll take my little piece of inner tube, and go right over the whole bobbin, just the whole thing. Come on, bruh. Yeah. And it holds everything in there. It keeps it from rubbing on stuff. And there is a good bit of fishing line there. So even if you wanted to just have this for your repair, that's totally fine too. I remember the first time I ever sewed something with spider wire, I was in high school, and I had this super cool, I don't even remember who made them, but it was maybe been like JanSport or something, binder. I don't know if it was JanSport. I don't remember who. Anyway, that is a cool zip-up binder. And I had drawn all over it, and people had signed it, and it was fun. And I would just pack the mess out of it. And it was hard to zip up. Well, it eventually started coming apart, and I sewed it with spider wire. And after that, I started using it for all kinds of stuff. And I graduated in 2003, so that was my first run-in with it. And it'll totally hold. I got a bug-out bag that's been, one of the straps has been repaired with spider wire too. I mean, it's good stuff. Or I say spider wire. I actually use spider wire for my notebook, but this is, the all-print stuff. It works just as good. Before I think about it, like I said, forget about it. This is the 15-pound. The 30-pound is way crispier. Like, this stuff's pretty soft. But the 30-pound is really, really rigid. So it's a little harder to wind and to manipulate if you're trying to do other things with it. I mean, it's for what we're doing, the 15-pound test if you're just putting it on a T-handle, or just using this and snatching brim or crappie or bluegill or whatever you want to call them, little trout. Like that's, as long as you can hang on to that, you can put a stick through that. As a matter of fact, where's a little stick? Come here, stick. I don't know if I got a stick right here close. I better. I didn't even think about that. It just kind of popped into my head. You know, if you use a T-handle for a hand line, you could take that itself and you could let your line come out between your fingers. You could snatch fish with that big time. Like that would totally work. But yeah, this is plenty big enough, I think, in my opinion, for what we're doing with it. These come in plastic in several different sizes. I picked the metal ones, and I picked like a 25 pack or whatever it was for the least amount that I could get. Same way with these things. Again, here is the size. There's a million sizes of bicycle inner tubes. So if you're looking for small ones that fit around like a small bic or one of these guys, that's going to be your size right here. And all this stuff come off Amazon. If you go on Amazon and just search sewing machine bobbins or braided fishing line, or put that number in, bicycle inner tube, you'll be able to find all this stuff. I'll figure out how to do the links eventually, but for now, just have to do a little Google foo. Sorry, y'all. But again, guys, I appreciate it. I like seeing people enjoy my stuff. I enjoy doing this stuff, and I've got where I like sharing it with you guys. And I've shared it for a long time. You can check out all of the older stuff at Bushcraft Kelso on Instagram. My website, bushcraftkelso.com, gizmos and gadgets, things and stuff, and this and that. Subscribe. Dude, I looked the other day, and it said there was like 8,000 people watching my videos, but I got like 4,000 subscribers. Man, if my subscribers followed me, or however you do it, the people watching my video subscribe to my channel, we'd have all kind of subscribers. And eventually, if I can start getting some of that YouTube money, you know, everybody wants that YouTube money, we'll start doing some, we'll do some other stuff. I might even go take some classes, you know, if I have extra dough, and then maybe we can do some giveaways and stuff. I do all kind of giveaways with companies and all on Instagram. May as well share it with my YouTube people too. You can't be stingy with it. But hey, again, thank you. That's how I do my bobbins. Hope that's close enough for that one dude. Anyway, later.